And a lot of times, you have somebody who's doing 200 stops a day, cutting through their lunch, going as fast as they can, not following the methods. They get hurt. The company turns them into the biggest villain of all time. And now they're wondering to themselves, I do all these stops every day. How come the company's not cutting me a break? It's because you're just a number to them.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the member's best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
What is going on, everybody? So today, I have Greg Kerwood out of Local 25 in Boston and Corey Levesque, business agent out of Local 251 in Rhode Island. And we're going to be covering, what should you do if you're being followed. And right now, we're seeing a trend where a lot of people are being followed. And I want to get the vibe first. So, Kerwood, you're out of Boston. Are you having a lot of people being followed right now?
Absolutely. Certainly the contract campaign, definitely retaliation for a successful contract campaign. It's also coming from corporate. They want these on-road supervisors out of the office and on the road every day. And so they're tasking them with either riding with people or following them when they're not riding with people. So it's pretty much constant following going on a daily basis.
And Corey, out of 251 in Rhode Island, are you having a lot of your members being followed by management right now?
Definitely. It's been an uptick in the past month, 100%.
Now, Greg, let's say you're a new driver. You've never had management follow you before. Maybe you even think that management likes you and you have nothing to worry about. And you see a car behind you. Like, how should you react to all this?
Well, if you see a car behind you, I wouldn't react at all. But at some point, you're going to see the supervisor out there with their clipboard and whistle. If you feel like it, you can give them a friendly wave. But the important thing is to keep your cool. Do your job the same way you do it every day. For a new driver, it can be a little disconcerting, I guess, to feel like somebody's standing over you, which is their goal. But I think the important thing is to remember that the more you do stuff correctly every day, the better off you're going to be when that time comes, whether it's a ride or somebody following you or whatever it turns out to be. There's an old saying that the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago and the second best time is now. You can't start learning the methods and following the methods early enough. And when you make those things habits and routines, somebody following you or riding with you doesn't faze you in the slightest because you know what to do and you do the same thing every day and you keep it consistent and you really have nothing to worry about.
So, Corey, you being a business agent and you kind of have a finger on the pulse in a lot of different of your centers, you know what I mean? So have you, as far as like these people being followed, is it common for the members to be written up next day at all?
Yeah, it's definitely common because, the goal of the company is not necessarily to correct the behavior all the time. It's to stack discipline on members for leverage. And sometimes members may not understand that and they freak out in the office. But if they're writing you up for not parking close enough to a stop, not beeping your horn at every stop, they're reaching for things to get discipline on you. And people need to understand that and just remain calm when you go into that office. Expect the discipline to come after the ORO.
And so when you get disciplined, it can be a little intimidating when you're in the office. And management may come at you like you're the worst driver to ever be hired by the company. Now, when you're in the office and they start stacking this discipline, how should you react to it? Should you raise your voice? Can you even argue with them to get them to remove it? I mean, what's been your experiences, Corey?
What I tell our members and what our stewards tell our members is, always stay calm, cool, collected when you go into the office. And if they're going to stack BS discipline on you, just stay calm and tell them I'm trying my best every day. I'm trying my best to be a consistent, good driver to the best of my ability.
I kind of want to dig into this a little bit more because I know a lot of our viewers out there maybe haven't been pulled into the office. And so I want to make sure that everybody understands how to handle themselves when they get pulled in that office. Because like Corey just said, it's not if, it's when, right? So Greg, when you're when you have a member that's pulled in the office and has never been in there, and you can see that they're a little nervous, how do you handle it?
Well, the first thing you should do as a steward is find out what the meeting is about. Um, they have an obligation to tell you, and once you find out what it's about, you also have a right to caucus with your member. So certainly with a new member, I'm going to have a conversation with them before they go in, give them the lay of the land. And if need be, if they start to get agitated or say things they shouldn't say, I will take them out and do it again. But it's important for people to realize that whether the company likes to admit it or not, this is a game. It's a game, unfortunately, that they're playing with your livelihood, but it's nonetheless a game. And if you go in that office and start reacting to insults or implications that you're not up to snuff or not trying, things that normal people would take offense to, you're playing right into their hands, right? What you want to do is be completely indifferent to their garbage. And as Corey said, just stick with I'm doing the best I can, I'm doing my job, so I'm working safely, nondescript responses, no emotion whatsoever. Don't let them see that they're pushing your buttons or getting under your skin or making you irritated, because that's exactly what they're looking for. And nothing drives them crazier than someone who goes in that office and keeps their cool. They find they are the ones that end up getting agitated, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
When you have all this discipline stacking, let's say, first it's progressive discipline. So you have a warning letter for failure to follow instructions. Then you have intent to suspend for failure to follow instructions. Then you have intent to term for failure to follow instructions. Corey, are these things that members really need to be all that concerned about?
I mean, you need to be concerned about them stacking progressive discipline, of course. Like Greg said, stay calm and just know that if they're ROing you, if they want to discipline you, they could discipline you for anything. But just make sure that when you're filing grievances, if it's rising to the level of suspension, intent to term, you need to be sure that you're writing and filling out the grievances on time. Make sure that you're filling them out under the appropriate articles as well. You don't want to go into crazy detail on the grievances, but just work with your stewards, make sure that they're getting filed in a timely manner and the appropriate language is on the grievance.
And so I guess the other question I have, I'm going to throw this to you, Greg, is as far as all these little tic-tac things, as they stack up, and hell, I even at one point had a binder full of them because they were stacking so much up. Are these things that can necessarily work at panel, or is this something you should be concerned about?
Well, I think there's an important distinction that Corey's alluding to, in that they're going to throw everything under one big umbrella: methods and procedures, fail to follow, whatever. That's not how progressive discipline works. Progressive discipline is, you did something, we told you it was wrong, you failed to correct that behavior, so we're giving you further discipline. It's not you didn't wear your seatbelt Tuesday and then you didn't use the handrail Wednesday, and somehow that's progressive discipline. That's not how it works, and that won't hold up to a just cause argument. Now, on the other hand, if you are in fact doing the same thing wrong repeatedly, that's where you're playing with fire. If the company is asking you to correct the behavior, as long as it's safe and legal, you're obligated to do it. So if they tell you, we know you're not wearing your seatbelt, we witnessed you not wearing your seatbelt, you better have your seatbelt on going forward. And that goes for attendance or any issue that falls under the rules of the job. You have to work as instructed, and you have to follow the rules. And if you're doing the same thing, don't be a stubborn idiot and throw your job away because you're bound and determined that you're going to do the job the way you want to do it. Work is directed, follow the methods, follow their rules, and you will make out in the long run. But don't fight it and say, no one's going to tell me to do this, or I don't agree with that, or that's not the right way, or it's wasting time, which is the silliest argument I've ever heard anybody make. You're not there to save the company time. You're there to work safely and properly and get paid by the hour.
Well said. And so, Corey, before we close this out, is there anything that kind of comes to mind of something we may have missed while discussing this?
Yeah, I would just say that, a lot of people, I think when you're new to driving, it's easy to get intimidated by the company, and that's their goal. Their goal is to, continue that culture of harassment and intimidation, and that's what they thrive on. They want to intimidate you. They want you to work faster. They want you to do as many stops as you can. And a lot of times, you have somebody who's doing 200 stops a day, cutting through their lunch, going as fast as they can, not following the methods. They get hurt. The company turns them into the biggest villain of all time. And now they're wondering to themselves, I do all these stops every day. How come the company's not cutting me a break? It's because you're just a number to them. You're the one that has to deal with the physical ramifications of this job that you're going to do for 30 years, 30 plus years, not the company. It's easy to sit behind the computer and say, oh, this route should be done in this amount of time. You're the one doing the job every day. Be consistent. Work as if a supervisor's on the side of you anyways, and you'll have nothing to worry about. You need to preserve your body and work at a pace that's consistent and safe for you and a pace that you can maintain over a 30 plus year career.
Well said. And there is something that I want to touch on about putting in future videos. With this going on, this type of culture where people feel pressure to go faster, we're about to get into some very hot months, which this can be very, very dangerous. So please, everybody, be safe out there. Now, if you haven't done so already, follow. Greg, which one do you want today? You want the contract?
401k.
The 401k?
401k.
Okay. Follow the Teamster 401k Facebook group. Did I get that right, Greg?
Close enough.
Okay. All right. I'm always terrible at this. I've only been doing this for a few years. I don't know what you expect out of me. So, and if you have not done so already, 251, big shout out. Corey is a very busy man. Awesome Teamster. Love him to death. I'm glad you were able to come on the show. We'd like to have you again in the future, so I appreciate you. But shout outs. I'm going to let you go first, Corey. Shout outs. Who do you want to shout out tonight?
No, I just want to give a shout out to all the members of my local, the members that continue to file on the grievances on the company whenever they violate the agreement. I want to shout out the stewards that work hard day in and day out. And that's about it.
Yeah, my shout out is going to go to all of the members out there, whatever job they're doing, who are struggling with this job. We've all been around this a long, long time, but I don't think anybody ever forgets going through that period or periods early in your career. So I just want to encourage all of you to hang in there, learn everything you can, listen to the people who are trying to help you, understand that UPS world is upside down and backwards, and things are never going to make sense. And take care of yourself, your body, your family, your coworkers, your brothers and sisters. You'll get through it. It will get easier. It will get better, and you'll learn how to play this game. But if you're out there and you're struggling, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I just want to encourage you to keep going.
And my shout out goes to these fine guests. They come on their own personal time to help everybody out. So I appreciate you guys. And that's all I got. Love you, and I'll see you next week.